Hello, I am Jessie, and my group mates Emily and Rachael and I decided to look into the recent overturning of Roe v Wade that happened in the United States recently. So our research outline starts with an introduction and a brief history on Roe v Wade by Emily. It'll then go into looking into who is at stake, exploring the intersectionality of Roe v Wade, as well as what actions are currently being made by myself, and then how the movement has contributed to transformative social change, and where the movement is currently in the work by Rachael.
Good afternoon. Our topic for our final presentation is the overturning of Roe v. Wade. What is Roe v. Wade and who initiated it? In 1969, a 25-year-old single woman, Norma McCorvey, using the pseudonym Jane Roe, challenged the criminal abortion laws in Texas. The state forbade abortion as unconstitutional except in cases where the mother's life was in danger. Defending the anti-abortion laws was Henry Wade, the district attorney for Dallas County, hence Roe v. Wade. When she filed the case, Miss McCorvey was pregnant with her third child and claimed that she had been raped. However, the case was rejected and she was forced to give birth. In 1973, her appeal made it to U.S. Supreme Court, where her case was heard alongside of a 20-year-old Georgia woman, Sandra Bensing. They argued that the abortion laws in Texas and Georgia went against the U.S. Constitution because they infringed a woman's right to privacy. By a vote of 7-2, the court justices ruled that governments lack the power to prohibit abortions. They judged that the U.S. Constitution protected a woman's right to terminate her pregnancy. How did this change women's rights at the time? The case created the trimester system, allowing an absolute right to an abortion in the first 3 months, so the trimester of a pregnancy, some government regulations in the second trimester, and states to restrict or ban abortions in the last trimester as the fetus nears the point where it could live outside the womb. Roe v. Wade also established that in the final trimester, a woman could obtain an abortion despite any legal ban, only if doctors certify it is necessary to save her life or health. Now, the overturning of Roe v. Wade. In 1973, the court ruled Roe v. Wade that pregnant women were entitled to an abortion during the first 3 months of their pregnancy while allowing for legal restrictions and bans in the second and third trimesters. Now the court has overturned that earlier ruling, effectively making it possible for states to ban abortions earlier than 12 weeks. Abortion will not automatically become illegal in the United States, but individual states will now be allowed to decide if and how to allow abortions. 13 states had passed trigger laws upon Roe v. Wade being overturned. Others have left old laws on the books that banned abortion before 1973. But now they could go back into that force. In the days that followed the ruling, several bans came into force, but some of those have been temporarily blocked by the courts, setting things up for further legal battles. Over the past decade, several states have also tried to pass laws making abortion illegal, except in a few circumstances, such as if the pregnant woman's life is at risk. Some of those laws were struck down by lower counts as they appeared to violate Roe v. Wade. However, now they will likely come back into full force. According to Guttmacher Institute, some 40 million women of childbearing age will live in the states where abortion will become more challenging to access, safe abortions. This research organization supports abortion rights, and they calculated about 630,000 abortions were performed in the U.S. in 2019, according to Guttmacher and the U.S. Center for Disease Control. Although further research shows that it could be closer to 860,000 women. Now, how does this connect to the course readings? In one of the following readings, it was said by Hooks, 2000, individual female freedom fighters all over the world have single-heartedly struggled against patriarchy and male domination. Since the first people on the planet Earth were non-white, it is likely that white women were the first females to rebel against male domination. In white supremacist capitalist patriarchal Western culture, neo-colonial thinking sets the tone for many cultural practices. I believe this connects to the overturning of Roe v. Wade because of the Western cultural practices and the neo-colonial thinking is what made the decision in court that day. All women of different races, religions, and sexual orientation around the world are protesting as well as rebelling against the male domination. Second article linking to the overturning of Roe v. Wade was by Stewart in 2019 from the course. Power over is how power is most commonly understood. This type of power is built on force, coercion, domination, and control, and motivates largely through fear. This form of power is built on a belief that power is a finite resource that can be held by individuals, and that some have power and some people do not. The overturning of Roe v. Wade has power over women. This court decision has